Okay. Let me see. Got to check. I got to bear with me. Pull this up and see what's going on. Okay, look like I'm live. Let me pull this up and see what's going on. Okay. Okay, look like I'm live. All right. Keep this over here so I can see. All right. I did this. I just uploaded this to BitChute this morning. I don't expect white supremacists to like when you're talking about their gods, the church. But nevertheless, I uploaded it this morning. The gospel according to genocide. All right. Now, I was uploading this last night, and then on my computer, I looked up and saw that today was Columbus Day. Oh, automatically I went into scramble mode. Because these people are lying to us. They're lying to our children. See, that's another thing. This kind of segues into this jab scene. You can't make an informed consent because the other side, the downside, the con of the so-called, shots, they don't allow you to hear that side. So you're not making an informed consent. Just like when I was in school, they taught us these lies about Columbus. It's brainwashing, it's mind rape, it's lies. Tell me the whole story and I make up my own mind. That's how that works. Now I'm okay. They said he discovered America. That's about like me discovering somebody else's property. And coveting. That's one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not covet. In order to take their property, I had to kill and remove them. This is exactly what happens. Look on the screen. Oh, I ain't sharing it. Okay. Let me share my screen. That's why I had to have the screen over here. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah. I'm just talking. That's why I had to have my screen up there. But look here on your screen. I'm waiting for it to catch up. It's a little delay on Facebook and YouTube. All right. Okay. Now, you see the Bible verse right there. Habakkuk 2:12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city in iniquity. That's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 12. Okay. This kind of goes in what I uploaded over here on BitChute this morning. They built this, the fourth beast of Daniel built this kingdom, taking over the whole earth with bloodshed. That's why, in the end, the Mashiach is going to repay them with bloodshed. See, why don't they teach about this Messiah? That going to war and his garment going to have blood all on it, dipped in blood. They ain't going to teach that Messiah. They going to see this is you can't fool the masses teaching the Bible the way it's supposed to be taught. You can't do that. That's why you got to try to censor people. Oh yeah, let me put my ticker up here. Let me see, where is it at? Let me unshare. Let me see, where's my banners? Okay. All right. Yeah. Let me get back to sharing my screen and getting on with the get on. All right, this is impromptu. I'm just some things I pre-pulled, but let me show you what the Columbus really discovered. All right. Okay, I just did a search and I just pulled out 2 stories inside of 5 minutes. Okay, this is one. All right. Let's not forget Columbus was a despicable rapist. They're not going to teach that. It goes against the narrative. He was also funded by the so-called beast church, the Catholics. These are facts. All right. Let me see. We hope it comes to no surprise that Columbus Day celebrates historic figure, not terribly worthy of laudatory holiday. That's another thing. America, they make holidays for their heroes or villains. George Washington, ripped slave teeth out of their mouths and put them in his mouth. And then they got they make a day for call it President's Day when it's really slaveholders' day. Your heroes are villains. Then you want to get mad in the current system of white supremacy where we're all getting slaughtered and getting what they call it, alienated and castrated. You got a nerve to get upset that we don't pledge allegiance to your God, the flag. But see, the Most High is doing this. He's pulling the veil back, and he's showing us what y'all refuse to show us. But nevertheless, let me get back in my lesson. All right. During his New World expedition, this man who cut off the noses and ears of native captives who resisted slavery, lopped off victim head and killed babies for dog food. This is Columbus, a doggone worldwide terrorist and rapist and kidnapper, enslaver. But this is America's hero. But they think they're going to be rewarded, which they are. They're going to be rewarded. It's going to be blood for blood. It ain't no more back to normal. What's normal? What's normal in the system of white supremacy? Genocide, bloodshed, mass murdering, lying and trampling down the so-called message of the Bible. That's back to normal for them. Notice when this pandemic hit, your churches got closed. You're teaching nothing but lies anyway. All right, let me move on. It's also worth noting that Columbus was a man who engaged in atrocious acts of sexual violence. That these actions have repercussions that extended far beyond a particularly dark period of colonial history. All right. You see what it is. You see it right there on the screen. You can pause that and read that. I'm going to move on to another article. Okay. Let me see here. See, you know, you Europeans, you really should think twice about trying to make black people out to be the most vile and most bad, worst people on the earth. You really should just be quiet. The truth is out now. You really should be quiet. Just because y'all got the media and they putting the camera trying to demonize us. The reason why they demonize us, so you feel nothing when we get killed out here. You feel nothing when we get discriminated against. You feel nothing when we are targeted and not unable to obtain wealth because you have a system in place to give the wealth to immigrants and everybody else but us. You feel nothing because they demonize and vilify us. But when the truth comes out, it should be y'all that's demonized and vilified. Y'all worked hard for this. You don't want this? You don't like this history? Then I suggest you repent and stop making it. That's all you got to do. Telling the truth on y'all is not hate. Let me move on. The fact that I'm even acknowledging that should tell you something. All right. Let me start here in the bold italics. Historically, indigenous women were raped by settlers and soldiers. Such attacks were not random or individual. They were tools of conquest and colonization. That segues into my video I did last night. The gospel according to genocide. It goes right along with that. Since the Catholic Church sent him. All right. They contribute to the present high rates of sexual violence and perpetrated against indigenous women and help to shield their attackers from injustice. All right. That's enough on this article. Let me see. Yeah. I'm going to try to show another video. Let me see how long it's been going. Let's see how long it's been going. All right. Let me go. Let me go back out and chose another one. 9 reasons why Columbus was a murderer, tyrant, and scoundrel. But see, you want to celebrate this. How is this going to look on Judgment Day? This is for these so-called believers. How is that going to look? Think about it. You're going to sit before the Most High and you are celebrating wickedness. In order for you to, at this point, to keep celebrating these holidays, you got to be in agreement with them. Let me move on. Okay, I'm just gonna read the bold, then I'm gonna probably let a video play, and then that's gonna be it. I don't know. Columbus kidnapped a Carib woman and gave her to a crew member to rape. Okay, you can type this in yourself. You see who wrote it? See who wrote it? You can type that in down there. 9 reasons Columbus was a murderer, tyrant, and scandal. And then if you want to read this yourself. All right. On Hispaniola, this is Haiti and Dominican Republic. How you think our people took over that land after they defeated the French? That's why Haiti catches so much. These Europeans are still butthurt about the Haitians winning their own independence. How you think? Our people didn't go over there killing off the indigenous population. No, the Europeans did that. And when the Haitians defeated the French, the land, there was no Tainos left. Only our people. All right. So the white supremacists feel like they lost the area of land, which is why they is meddling over here in Dominican Republic. They divide and conquer. Black people, when are we gonna learn this? They sit black people in front of the camera speaking against our best interests. That's what they do. We got to start calling out every black person that's traitorous and treacherous and a white supremacist. You got black white supremacists. These are facts. All right. A member of Columbus crew publicly cut off Indian ears to shock others into submission. But they want to call the natives barbarians. Actually, some of them descend from the barbarians. They want to call the natives savages. No, y'all the savages. And if you don't want to be called a savage, then stop doing savage things. Okay. After an attack by more than 2,000 Indians, Columbus had an underling, Alonzo de Ojeda, bring him 3 Indian leaders, whom Columbus then ordered publicly beheaded. Ojeda also ordered his men to grab another Indian, bring him to the middle of the village, and cut off his ears in retribution. This is the same thing in the Willie Lynch letter. I'm going to have to go through that. I'm going to have to go through that Willie Lynch letter. It's right out the playbook. This is the same. See, us watching our people get shot down and killed on television is to put fear in us. But it's not working. It's not working. Because the Most High has changed our hearts. It's not working. It's infuriating us. Because the way we see it, and because we see it for what it is, it ain't nothing we can do to guarantee our survival. You might as well fight back. Be a man or a woman, look death right back in the eye, and see who blinks first. Moving on. It's the same thing. I'm gonna just scroll down. But the church ain't gonna denounce this. The school ain't gonna teach this. And yet you got a day honoring this man, this savage. I'm gonna play this video, and then I'm gonna end this. All right, I'm gonna play this video.
Monday, October 12th is Columbus Day, which we've celebrated in various parts of this country since the 18th century, even before it became a federal holiday back in 1937. And that's probably long enough. Because when you find out the actual facts of what Christopher Columbus did when he got to America, you're going to see that it's one of the darkest chapters in America's history. Now, I've got a lot of these facts, Jenks, so feel free to just cut me off when you want to interject. But first of all, let's start with something light. Columbus initiated the transatlantic slave trade in early February 1494, first sending several dozen enslaved Tainos, these are the native people of the island that he landed on, to Spain. Columbus described those he enslaved as well-made and of good intelligence. He ordered 1,600 of them rounded up, and had 550 of the best males and females, according to one witness, Michel de Cuneo, chained and sent as slaves to Spain. Of the rest who were left, the person writes, the announcement went around that whoever wanted them could take as many as he pleased, and this was done. And understand that significant numbers of even those early slave deliveries.
Notice the Huffington Post. Notice the Huffington Post.
Let me come in there with a couple.
So you can double check what he's reading.
First of all, Columbus also described the natives that he ran into when he first discovered this land. If he discovered it, how come they were already there? Anyway, he said they were, quote, so full of love and without greed. And you would think, like, oh, that's great. That's going to lead to good relations. He's like, no, idiots, he thought. They're so full of love without greed. It makes it super easy to enslave them, beat them, murder them, chop their hands off. Christopher Columbus, the original ISIS. We're going to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Okay? And so he looked at their love and compassion as a weakness that he could exploit.
Mm-hmm.
This is the man we celebrate, right? And he says, you take the slaves and do what we want with them. Here's what they did with them according to the journals at the time. So this is history, and it's not somebody else said it about them. They said it themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Most of the quotes you're going to see are taken from his personal journals.
In the journals of Columbus and his men, they bragged about how they would break the native women, and that they would break their will to resist after rape, after rape, after rape. And then eventually they can get the women to do whatever they wanted because they had raped them so much.
Yeah.
Now, this is the man we celebrate.
Yeah.
Right? So now, look, when I was a kid, I was told that Columbus discovered America. I knew that he hadn't discovered it because there were people there. Even as a kid, you could figure that out. But I got it. He discovered it from a European perspective. And at least, hey, the Europeans came here, we set up America, and we celebrated, and I celebrated. But when I grew up, I put childish things aside. Okay, so now you want to take the blue pill, and you want to go back to thinking Christopher Columbus is a lovely guy. Understand that you're making an active choice to deny facts, history, and say, I'd like to be ignorant. That's what I would like to do, right? That's a choice you're making, okay? But now that I know the facts, well, obviously I changed my mind on Christopher Columbus because no one ever told me what the real facts were. You find out the real facts and you go, you would have to be a monster to want to celebrate this guy.
Yeah, they leave it out of the elementary school textbooks. But yeah, so we have more barbarity, but the fundamental facts, as you pointed out, he did not discover America. First of all, other Europeans had already been to America at that point, and as you point out, well over 100 million native people had already been living there. They had discovered it first, actually. They did not think that the world was flat at that point. They had not thought that for over 1,000 years. So he was not brave in being willing to go over the edge of the world. And he did not go on a mission of exploration at all. It was a commercial enterprise and a religious enterprise to find gold and to find slaves and to convert them where possible. Now, the initial slave that we talked about proved to be unprofitable, but he later wrote, "Let us in the name of the Holy Trinity go on sending all the slaves that can be sold." So there you get both the religious and the commercial considerations in one sentence. When the slavery did not pay off, he turned to a tribute system, forcing every Taino of 14 or older to fill a hawk's bell with gold every 3 months. If successful, they were safe for another 3 months. If not, Columbus ordered that they be punished by having their hands chopped off, or they were chased down by attack dogs. As the Spanish priest Bartolomé de las Casas wrote, this tribute system was impossible and intolerable. They not only had their hands cut off, by the way, but they were forced to wear them around their neck on thongs. A little bit barbaric there.
Okay, now imagine if ISIS had cut off hands, which they do, right? From Soto, Saudi Arabia, by the way, one of our top allies. And then they made the kids, 15, 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, wear the hands around their neck. And then they said, well, I'm only chopping it off because you didn't give me enough money, enough gold, enough bribes, right? And then they rape the women. They do this to the kids, to all the adults. And then they sick dogs on them and rip their flesh from their body, as we all want. Now, we would rightfully call them monsters, the worst of the worst, right? Now, when Columbus does the same exact thing, we name a national holiday. Now, again, if you didn't know, I didn't know either, right? It's okay. We're not a bad person. We were all told, hey, Columbus, hey, it was wonderful Italian, comes here, discovers America.
Explorer,
brave, all that stuff. It's okay. You didn't know. But now you know.
Yeah.
But now you know. You can't celebrate back then.
Yeah. Now, there's more that they have to know, unfortunately. This is another section from Christopher Columbus's personal journal. He wrote, 100 castellanos are as easily obtained for a woman as for a farm, and it is very general, and there are plenty of dealers who go about looking for girls. Those from 9 to 10 are now in demand. So they had set up some sort of system of pimps and sexual slavery in the New World. Eventually, he went back to Europe and then returned with more men after saying that he could conquer all of the natives because they had so little experience with war that he needed just 50 men so that he could govern them. On his second trip to the New World, he brought cannons and attack dogs. If a native resisted slavery, he would cut off a nose or an ear. If slaves tried to escape, he had them burned alive. Other times, he sent attack dogs to hunt them down, and the dogs would tear off the arms and legs of the screaming natives while they were still alive. If the Spaniards ran short of meat to feed the dogs, Arawak babies were killed for dog food. Additionally, and this is one of the sources for the information, we referenced them earlier, One of Columbus's men, Bartolomeu de las Casas, was so mortified by Columbus's brutal atrocities against the native peoples that he quit working for Columbus and became a Catholic priest. In a single day, he was an eyewitness as the Spanish soldiers dismembered, beheaded, and raped 3,000 native people. Such inhumanities and barbarisms were committed in my sight as no age can parallel, he said. My eyes have seen these acts so foreign to human nature that now I tremble as I write. And the final toll for this barbarity, the slavery, the disease, the war, the killing, the torture, experts generally agree that before 1492, the population on the island of Hispaniola probably numbered above 3 million. Within 20 years of Spanish arrival, it was reduced to only 60,000. Within 50 years, not a single original native inhabitant could be found. Wow. Millions were killed as a result of the exploration, the discovery. And that's on one island, by the way. This was then spread throughout the region.
If that's not terrorism, what the world is, right? I mean, that terrorism is so thorough. After all the rapes and the beheadings and setting people on fire, they kill at first nearly everyone, and then eventually everyone. Kill everyone they see. Okay? It's one thing to be ignorant, and that's actually something that plagues us all. We're all ignorant of different things. You know, I don't know particle physics, right? But and there's a lot you don't know, and I don't know. That's okay. That's okay. If you're on a quest to learn, that's fantastic. That's exactly right. Right? We're all on a quest. But once you know, then it's an easy decision. If after knowing this, and you know that the contemporaries wrote this is not some interpretation later. They wrote this in their journals, right? After you know it, and you still want to say that this is a good man because I don't care because he was white or he was Italian or he did it he's the founder of our country. I don't care. I don't care. If you don't care about this, you're really a terrible, terrible person, man. And you still want to celebrate this guy. It would be like celebrating the leader of ISIS. Yeah. It really would. I mean, this is exactly what ISIS does. And he did it at a level that ISIS couldn't even imagine.
All right. That should be it right about now. That should be it. Shalom. Y'all take care. I'm getting fast at doing these, but look for more content. You see the ticker at the bottom. You got any questions? Anything I put out may be wrong? Email me. You see the ticker, warriors@yahoo.com. Love y'all. Okay, I love y'all. Y'all take care. I got a comment over here. Okay. Shalom.